Hey guys, it's Sunday night in New York City. I'm coming live from New York City, but I say we because Ken is actually standing behind this tripod that we have. He does not like to or want to be on camera. Ken is my husband, for those of you who don't know, and I'm Deanna Fay. I'm the founder of Something Told, and it's pretty funny that for the founder of a startup tech company, the amount of preparation that went into preparing for an Instagram Live was pretty ridiculous, because we had to figure out how I could realistically show you guys a treasure while also showing you how easy it is to log in on the platform on Instagram Live, which we'll get to and you'll see. But we needed to do this in a probably an unconventional way for Instagram Live, but here we are. So how are we doing, Ken? Do we have anyone on yet?
There's no one.
So there's no one. There's no one yet, but we're here together, and this is great. And we know you guys will be able to watch it in the replay, or maybe some of you are watching this in the replay. But thanks for joining, if you joined, and thanks for following along. Today, what I want to do is show you, I'm going to tell you a story about a treasure that I'm going to be logging on the platform for myself tonight. But first, I want to let you know, so we launched Something Told on March 19th, so just a little over 2 weeks ago now. And this has been a passion project, a project of love in the making. And we launched it on March 19th to a very close-knit group of family and friends, and those who expressed interest in being a part of our email list. And I wanted to open this up to you all here in the Something Told Instagram family community. It's about 200 plus people right now, and I appreciate that you guys are following along, that you're showing interest. And from what I understand, there also could be a little confusion about what Something Told is. I actually had lunch this past week with an old friend of mine, and she was asking me about Something Told, and she was asking me about the product that I sell. I think she thought that I sold something that almost holds the jewelry or keepsakes. And so I realized that there might be some confusion, and that's probably because you haven't seen how it works in real life yet. So that's what we're here to do tonight. Something Told is not a physical product, it's a platform. It's a subscription-based service. Right now we have a free 3-day trial, and then monthly and annual options where you can become a member and utilize this platform to upload photos and or videos of your most cherished things, and have the story and the meaning behind those things accompany those treasures, so that in time, and as these things are passed through in time, whether they were passed on to you or you plan to potentially pass these on to someone you love, the story of why those things are so important to you stay with them. And because we're here today on our first Instagram Live, I think it's important that I tell you why I've built Something Told, and with a community of very talented people who help us put this together. Almost 4 years ago, my Uncle Joey passed away very suddenly, and at his wake, my cousins, my beautiful cousins, his daughters, were wearing these big gold chains. And as I was hugging them and as we were crying, I asked them, oh, were these your father's? And they said yes. And in the months that followed, I noticed that they never took them off. They always wore them. And what I came to learn was that when he was admitted into the hospital and had to take off all of his jewelry, they each put a gold chain that he always wore around each of their necks. There were 2 gold chains. And to this day, they still wear them all the time because it makes them feel like he's close with them. But interestingly enough, one of them has an inscription on the back. One of them is a pendant of a saint. And they don't know the exact meaning of why my uncle wore these every day of his life and what they really meant to him, but they know that he loved them, that he cherished them because he never took them off. And my aunt, same thing. She says, I honestly never asked why he wore them or what they meant to him. So it sparked this curiosity around what we don't know about the things that could become or are very special to us. And Ken's giving me this, which means maybe we have someone joining us.
We have a follower.
Who's joining us?
Davey has joined.
Hi, Davey! Thanks for joining. And so, this story really, it sparked my curiosity, and it made me think about all of the things that I have that have really special meaning behind them, whether it's jewelry, whether it's a piece of art that we're going to chat about in a second, whether it's, I love my purses or certain pieces of furniture that are just important. And I thought, one day when these are passed on to most likely my nieces, our nephew, who knows, my godchildren, I want them to know why I loved these things so much. So if you feel the same way, and this is what I call our community of sentimentalists, thanks for showing up today. We're gonna take you through, so what I wanna say too is it's so easy to create an account on Something Told. You just go to somethingtold.com, put in a couple little pieces of information. It takes under a minute to create an account. And like I said, you can start with a free trial, a monthly option, or an annual option, whatever makes sense. Do we have someone else joining?
Amanda's joined.
Amanda? Hi, Amanda! Yay! Thanks, guys. So happy you're here. We're not alone. It's not just Ken and I. But yeah, it's super easy to create an account. And then once you're in there, it's super easy to upload a treasure and then a story behind your treasure. So we're going to take you through that today. First, I want to talk about the treasure that I'm going to story today, and I'm going to put in my own treasure chest. And I also want to caveat that we're in beta, right? We're in phase 1 of Something Told. We've got a long roadmap, and I'll share that with you guys as we go along, of so many features that we're excited to add to this platform, because we know how important they will be. Family sharing, just like legacy planning, being able to add multiple photos per treasure. Right now it's just one photo or video per treasure. But we've got a lot of things on the roadmap for you guys. But right now we're starting with what we call our MVP, minimum viable product, learning all these things as a new business founder and owner. And it's a really great place to start. So tonight, the story that I'm going to tell you guys, and you may have seen this because a little over a year ago, I did post about this painting, this piece of art called The Road to Love, which was designed and painted by my cousin's husband, Chris Beauvais. He has his own business, Beauvais Fine Arts, and we call him our cousin. It's my cousin's husband, but he's our cousin. We're all family. And this piece is so special to Ken and I. It's called The Road to Love, and Road, R-H-O-D-E, because Ken and I met almost 10 years ago. We can't believe it. In August is going to be 10 years since we met on the train en route from Boston to New York. And he got on in Providence, Rhode Island, which is where he lived at the time and where we still spend a lot of our time. And he took the seat next to me. And we won't go into all that right now, but we fell in love, and here we are almost 10 years later. And so my cousin Chris, and do we have someone else joining?
Michaela joined.
Hi, Michaela! Thanks for joining. It's my sister-in-law, Ken's sister. So we love our love story. We love each other. Sometimes we're at each other's throats, but we love that we met, on the train, that this is, just been a really special story. And so when Chris, I actually in 2019, I called Chris to wish him a happy birthday that September on his birthday. He's so amazing. He always picks up, and then we usually will talk for a little bit. And that birthday, he started to tell me how, in addition to his day job, he wanted to really start to hone in on his talents and what he knows he was brought on this earth to do, which is to connect with people through his art. And he is just so deep and so lovely and cares so much about what he does. And we were talking about this, and we were talking about honing in on our talents and our purpose in life. And that was in 2019. And I said, well, if you really start doing this, I would love to one day be your first commissioned customer, because I would love to commission you to create a work of art for Ken and I that tells the story behind how we met, really, our love from New England to New York, and representing that train ride of when it all started. So fast forward to this piece of art I received actually on my birthday, November 11th, 2021. It was delivered to our apartment here in New York City. Really, right where I'm standing right now is where I opened it, so that's pretty special too. And this was at least a year in the making, would you say, honey? Yeah, it was like at least a year in the making. We'd do FaceTime with Chris. We'd do a lot of texts. He'd show us like what he was thinking about for colors and for design throughout the process. And we have all those things saved, and he has more, and he can speak as the artist much more articulately to this than I can. And I'd love to, in a follow-up, we'll get him talking about this because you guys will want to hear from him. But, you know, my story about this is that we spent a good year plus, you know, thinking about the thought process behind this piece and what would go into it. And we really didn't know exactly what it would look like. He wanted to keep a lot of things surprise, but he would give us, you know, or ask us questions about colors or about, in fact, right here, I know we can't zoom in, but I'll zoom in on photos later and after. There's an anchor, which is the symbol of the state of Rhode Island, and the word or like motto, or it's not really motto, but hope is like the Rhode Island word. So if you look up Rhode Island, it's like it signifies Rhode Island is the word hope. So he actually wrote the word hope here in the anchor, which I love that it's like anchored on the train tracks. It's kind of like where Ken and I's love is anchored and rooted, right? Because that's where we met. And obviously, you know, the pivotal point of this is the train tracks, but there's so much significance and so much symbolism behind the many different factors that he worked in that, again, in follow-up, I'll let him speak to because he's the artist. But obviously we've got the city, New York City here in the background, which is where we were heading, which is where we live now, which was where I lived and still do live at the time. And then we've got like New England factors. So as I mentioned, the anchor, the hope, and then even here, the lighthouse, and, you know, certain elements that are very like New England-esque while heading into the urban landscape, and, you know, the bridges and the skyline. And then I don't know if you may, hopefully you can see this, but he also worked in this yellow heart, like in the clouds, in the sky, like right above the Empire State Building, which is so cool. And you may not be able to see it in this video, but there almost looks like a lightning struck, like good lightning, obviously. Love lightning, but there's so much here, you guys. And he even has his name, Beauvais. I know it's in here, oh, here it is. You can't see it again, but right down here, he's got his signature Beauvais, and it says 8/6/15, which is the date that Ken and I met, August 6th, 2015. So there's just so much beauty here, and I can't show you this now, but if we were to take this off the wall, he had a gold emblem. I'm gonna pause 1 second. There's someone else.
Amanda wants to go live. I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna click the button.
Okay. As we go here. So maybe that means she's going to join. I don't know. But I wanted to say that on the back of this, are we still rolling here? On the back of this, Chris actually had a little gold plaque put on, and it said, it says, did I drop my paper? I didn't want to forget. Oh, I did drop my paper. It says, because I wanted to like quote it exactly, Beauvais Fine Art, first commission. And I love that. So if someone, and this is where we all bring it full circle, right? One day, someone else owns this piece of art, because let's face it, like, I hope to live a nice, long, healthy life, but I'm not going to be here forever. But this thing could be here a lot longer than I'm here, right? And one day someone might be going through my stuff and looks at this and sees this on the back, kind of just like my cousin saw the inscription on the back of my uncle's, gold pendants, and say like, first commission, like, what was this? I want whoever has this next to know this was Chris Beauvais' first commission. This was the story that goes behind this Road to Love painting that means so much to Ken and I. And this is why we cherish it and love it so much. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys. Ken's really going to show you guys how easy it is. So everything I just said, how easy it is to upload this onto the Something Told platform. So Ken,
So before we do that, Michaela has a question.
yes, Michaela, what's your question?
Can you upload more than one video per treasure on the platform? Could Chris record his story too?
That is such a great question. So the answer is right now, no. Right now, you can only upload one photo or video per treasure. But Chris could, in creating his own account, upload this and tell the story behind why he created it. Though this is more of like a treasure for us. I don't know if he'd consider it like, knowing him, he probably does consider all of his works of art a treasure. But it's such a good question because that is on our roadmap, and the ability to do that and to be able to connect stories and family members in like a shared space, and having the different varieties of the stories, almost like a family tree, but I like to call a treasure tree. That is on the roadmap for Something Told. So coming, but not right now. Right now, it's in the most basic element: take a photo or take a video, upload, and caption the story. A great question. Keep them coming, guys. If you guys have questions, if you have thoughts, we're going to show you right now how easy it is to upload it on the platform. And you want me to come around there too?
Yeah, you can dictate.
Okay. Well, I'm going to come around. You guys can stare at this gorgeous piece of work by Chris Beauvais. Thanks so much for being here. This is so fun. Okay, so I'm coming behind here because Ken's got his screen open. Because obviously I can't do this because my phone is filming. So here's our site. Ken already has an account created, so you're not going to see how to do that, but you guys are smart enough to figure that out for sure. And if you have questions, let us know. So he's already got a digital treasure chest here, right? So now he just went into My Treasures, which is his main space, and now he's going to go to Preserve a Memory, and it's saying here treasure name. So we're going to call it Road to Love Painting, I would say. Yeah, maybe we put Chris Beauvais because so this is where you guys can like choose your own adventure. So the next field is from, and so Ken's writing Beauvais fine art. I guess in the story we'll clarify like who it's actually from, and now we're going to choose the category, which is arts and collectibles, and we know because we looked back that we received it November 11th, 2021. And you guys, by the way, there's a lot of things I have, and I'm sure that you have that you might not know exactly when you received them. Just do your best. If you know the month or if you know the year, just kind of maybe put January 2015, whatever it was. Give your best guess. And if you need to do some digging, that is kind of the point of the platform too, with family or through your own research, dig back, and you can always go and update these details. Okay, so now we're going to upload the photo, which he took a photo of this before we went live. There it is. Done. And now we're going to just add a story. So, and one thing I want to call out too, I'm going to just point here, right here, there's a toggle, public, private. We encourage you guys, if you're open to it, to keep your treasures public because it's a great way to gain inspiration from other members and share your beautiful stories behind your treasures. And we love to see them in the Explore Treasures page, which we'll show you in a second. But if it's private and you don't want anyone to see this story, you have the option to just toggle that to private and nobody but you will see it and you'll only see it in your account. So Ken's going to start to, log this story here. We're obviously not going to go into the full details because you heard me and it took a little while. So we're going to want to clean this up, and I'm going to log this too. We'll probably have our own iterations of this story. But also I do want to call out as well, as he's typing, there's a need a help writing prompt there. So if you were to click on that, it'll take you to some prompts that help you think about what you might want to share. So now you already saved it, right? You already saved it. And there we go. It's uploading, right? It's uploaded into his treasure chest. And now if we go into Explore Stories, it should be there because I think you kept it public, right? Yep. So now it's like the top story, and we can see others from other people who have logged their beautiful treasures. And there we go. And now it's living here. and for the world to, well, more importantly for you, the most important piece of this is that you're preserving these stories. Again, this is for your future self and your future loved ones to have these stories. And when I think about all the things I actually want to upload in the platform, um, I don't want to do them all at once. That's going to seem like a lot of work. So I'm thinking we might start a story a treasure Sunday so we can get in the practice of doing it together. I'm Italian. I come from a very Italian American family. Sunday dinner used to be a really big thing. My great grandma always had us over for Sunday dinners. I applaud the families that still do Sunday dinners, that put their phones down and just still do that because it's so important. We don't, we, it's, Ken and I do sometimes are a little, we do a lot of dinners, but not in that sense. So I'm almost thinking like we start this, like we bring back like the Sunday sauce in like a story of treasure form and talk about the things that mean the most. Give ourselves a moment to maybe text mom or ask your sister if she remembers why she gave this to you, or what it meant. Do you remember why mom wore this? Do you remember this or that? Use it as a moment to connect with your family on Sundays, even if it's not around a dinner table. Ken, do we?
Davey made a comment, which I think is really relevant. Love that idea. Storytelling Sundays.
Storytelling Sundays. I love that too, Davey. Yes. Thank you. Yes, storytelling Sundays. Let's make it a thing, you guys. And so I thank you guys for joining while Ken's looking at the comments. Does anyone have any questions? Especially we gave you a little preview into the platform. Any questions? Any other thoughts that you guys want to share? I wanted to make sure I did this at 7:30 for us Eastern time, folks, to give us enough time to get comfy and prepare for White Lotus. If you're a fan, we'll be watching White Lotus here in a little over an hour. But are there any other questions about the platform? Any other thoughts? And by the way, if you have them or you think of them, please feel free to, I think you can leave them on this. Again, live is new to me. We're hoping this went well. I think, people can watch the replay. So I'm sure you'll see me like promoting it to encourage people to. But hopefully this was helpful. And I look forward to hopefully doing another treasure with you guys next Sunday. Maybe we'll even get Ken behind the camera one of these times. He's going like this, but he's a handsome stud. So maybe we will. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, I didn't take up too much time of your Sunday night. And we'll keep you posted on the next Story of Treasure, Storytelling Sundays. And hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you found it helpful. And we'll see you guys soon. All right, and we're gonna just figure out how to like undo this now, but you can stare at the photo while we do. Love you guys. And I think we just go right.